So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar offered by IIBA, International Institute of Bioenergetic Analysis. My name is Miriam Montal. I am a local trainer in Rio de Janeiro Society, and I'm very happy to be here to introduce you a fabulous person, and I am sure you are going to love meeting her. But before my introduction, I have to remind you that the webinars will be entirely in English, but there will be a simultaneous translation service in 5 other languages: Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian. If you want to follow webinars in English, do nothing, because all communications and the speaker's presentation will be entirely in English. If, on the other hand, you want to follow it in other languages, you have to go to the toolbar that you will find below. Select the globe icon that activates the interpreting function. A list will open with 6 languages provided. Select your language and follow the live translation. About requests, we also remind you that throughout the course of the webinar, you can ask questions to the speakers, which will, however, be selected and read only in the final part dedicated to question time. And so please write your questions in English. The questions in other language, in fact, cannot be translated live, be translated live, and therefore cannot be chosen. To ask your questions, you will need to use the Zoom questions and answers, Q&A or DNA in Italian version function, which you will always find in the toolbar at the bottom with the icon with 2 speech bubbles. Instead, please do not use the chat section for questions, okay? In the chat icon with a single bubble, in fact, only general communications addressed to all participants and technical information will be included. So now I can introduce you, Garet Bedrosian. Garet Bedrosian is a consummate student and strives to be present, gracious, and curious in all interactions. She has been on a mission her entire life, and her mission is to understand herself and this world around us through the relationships people form with one another and through the ways we come to know ourselves. She's an author, a member of the International Bioenergetic Analysis faculty, and also member in the International Imago Relationship faculty. She has presented at local, national, and international conferences as a keynote speaker and workshop presenter. Garet has over 25 years of experience training therapists in bioenergetic analysis and Imago Relationship Therapy, as well as teaching at various colleges and universities. She also enjoys facilitating Imago relationship workshops for couples and individuals, and has 40 years of clinical experience with a diversity of people struggling with various mental, emotional, and addictive challenges. Garet lives on a ranch in Ramona, in Southern California, with 2 dogs, 2 cats, 6 horses, and 2 donkeys. As a master facilitator, ECOS coach, she combines bioenergetic analysis, Imago Relationship Therapy, and ECOS coaching to help people in the most organic ways to discover their passions and the path through the challenges that stand in the way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce you Garet Bedrosian.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for that heartfelt introduction. Good day, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you. A special appreciation goes to Patrizia for inviting me to contribute to this enlightening series, as well as to all of those who have diligently organized this event. I must also express gratitude to the IIBA for their sponsorship and to the translators for their invaluable assistance. Throughout our time together, I'll strive to be mindful of our multilingual audience as I share insights and occasionally speak off the cuff. To each of you joining us today or viewing later, thank you for investing your time. And I sincerely hope you'll find our exploration fruitful and applicable to your professional endeavors. Your feedback and questions are not only welcome, but encouraged. Recognizing that many of you already are familiar with working with couples using various therapeutic modalities, including bioenergetics, I'm eager to hear your perspectives and insights during our question and answer time. Bioenergetic offers a rich array of somatic interventions ranging from subtle adjustments to more dynamic techniques. So as you can imagine, I can't discuss the myriad of possible scenarios or interventions in our time together today. So I've provided a paper that I wrote for the IIBA journal. I believe it was in 2019. And it delves into these interventions, offering diverse strategies for different scenarios and outcomes. Please request a copy from the organizers or from myself. I'd be happy to provide that for you. Today, I aim to illustrate the integration of bioenergetics and Imago Relationship Therapy by showing a recorded couples session. I'll demonstrate how simple adjustments in posture can elicit profound experiences and stimulate constructive dialogue within the therapeutic space. I'll also demonstrate how working with a posture may stimulate a relational pattern and how to move that into a productive conversation. So let's begin. At the outset of each of my couple sessions, I facilitate a grounding exercise to foster presence and connection. These exercises serve multiple purposes. They regulate the nervous system, contain any reactivity, and model healthy relational dynamics. By establishing a foundation of safety and attunement, I aim to equip couples with tools for navigating conflict and fostering intimacy. So, I'd like to invite you to engage in a brief centering exercise with me to experience the benefits firsthand. So please find a comfortable seated position. Close or soften your eyes if you wish, and take a few deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Notice your breath. You don't have to change anything, and certainly don't judge yourself in any way about whatever you're discovering. Notice any distractions or preoccupations, allowing yourself to gradually shift into a state of presence. Take a breath and see if you can breathe more deeply into your belly. Exhale with some sound. Ah. And do that again. Inhale and exhale. Ah. Continue to deepen your breath. As you become more present, consider your intention for our time together. Whether it's gaining insights into the integration of bioenergetics and Imago therapy, fostering clearer communication in your practice, setting this intention can help facilitate a more meaningful experience. So my intention is to share some information about combining two modalities that I find support and healing of my couples. And I hope what I share benefits your practice. If you were a couple, an intention might be that you want to share information in a way that you could be more clearly understood by your partner. So take a moment, become aware of your intention for our time together, and breathe and exhale. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Thank you very much for participating in that centering. Maybe you can write a few words in the chat or in WhatsApp, and if we can find a way to connect to those words or intentions, then Miriam, if you could read them, that would be great. So I'm going to also turn on my PowerPoint while we're doing that. And I'm not hearing anything from Miriam, so I'm going to just go on. But please feel free to share that information with us. So why do I use this presencing? I use it as a model of a way of being to set a tone for the session. Breathing and grounding exercises to foster presence and connection with themselves, their spiritual selves, and with one another. We also want to help them to regulate their nervous systems, to foster emotional stability and containment of reactivity. We don't know how they're going to show up in a session. So we want to
Garet,
help. Yes.
if you want, I can read the
Yes,
the
please.
participants in the chat. Okay, opening, understanding, relaxing, awareness, deepening. I calm. Okay.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you all for.
Peace.
So you can already see that just doing this little bit of grounding helps to get you more present, more calm, more regulated. And so we want that to be the case for the couples because we don't know how they're going to show up in a session. I also want them to learn to turn toward the relationship, to foster participants to turn their attention toward the relationship, fostering mutual understanding and empathy. We are used to doing things in our own head. We're used to being self-reliant because we got wounded early in our lives. So I want them to learn to turn toward the relationship as a support system. Also, invite them to share appreciations or a meaningful moment that they've had in the last week.
Sorry, Garrett.
Yes.
Uh, the we can't see your slide.
You cannot?
No,
Okay.
you have to share the slide.
Sorry, I forgot that step. I got so nervous. There we go. Now you can see?
Yeah. Can you put
Yes.
in on o-
Yes. I'm trying to get that
full
part again.
screen?
Yeah. Second, here it goes. There it is.
Perfect.
All right, I'm so sorry about that. Let me get rid of this part here. Okay, I'm having trouble moving this part at the end here so I can see my own screen. All right, I guess I will just do it this way. Okay, so sorry about that. This is the slide that I was on. I was talking about turning toward the relationship. Also, I want them to share appreciations with one another, or a meaningful moment that they've had with one another to enhance a positive connection. I want to ritualize connection and communication to create a structural framework for relational growth. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about ritual later. Basically, I want to set them up for success. I want to empower participants to navigate challenges with resilience. And I find that having a ritual helps them to do that. So if you were a couple, I'd have you look at into each other's eyes and ground in the relationship to activate as much positive resonance as possible, so they have better chance of connecting and resolving whatever issues that may arise. I would have them repeat or mirror what they're hearing to strengthen the connection and increase the chances of internalizing the positive messages. This supports cognitive balance and helps to create or strengthen new neural pathways. Okay. As we have learned, our brains have negative bias. They prioritize conflicts over loving experiences as a survival mechanism, especially when past trauma is involved. This can trigger disproportionate reactions where historical wounds influence present interactions. In Imago, we often say if it's hysterical, it's historical. Intense reactions, whether that means running away or fighting, often stem from wounds that are in the past. You have probably experienced this in your relationships. We inadvertently step on an emotional landmine and find ourselves in the middle of a conflict and didn't see it coming. I've certainly been on both sides of that conundrum. I can share with you a time I remember when I was on an African safari with my partner. We had spent a lovely day together, but when we returned to the lodge, he walked quickly ahead of me. This triggered an old wound about not feeling important or loved. Rather than telling him what I needed, I made a snarky remark, triggering a defensive reaction linked to his childhood wound of not feeling enough. Later, we realized our reactivity echoed deeper needs from our past and were able to resolve the conflict and have a wonderful vacation. This pattern is common in relationships, where chronic conflicts often stem from unresolved wounds. and unmet needs. By the time couples come to us, they are so deeply entangled in a defensive pattern, they are not able to remember their love for one another. Today, we will explore the fundamental goals of relationship therapy by blending bioenergetics, a somatic approach, with Imago relational focus, and addressing the intricate interplay between physical and emotional dynamics within couples. Thus, by understanding the underlying patterns and adaptations that shape relational dynamics, we can guide couples toward greater self-awareness and relational fulfillment. So I'll share session recordings with you later on in the program, and you'll see how these therapeutic principles unfold in practice. Through guided exercises and dialogues, you will observe the transformative potential of integrating somatic awareness and relational attunement. So I want to talk a little bit about the stated goals of relationship therapy. So the first I hear from couples is that they want to have a deeper connection with one another. So relationship therapy fosters deeper emotional intimacy and understanding between partners and strengthens the bond and sense of mutual support. The other thing I often hear is that they are in conflict, they feel disconnected. So we want to help to move them from despair to repair. So we want them to learn tools and strategies for transforming conflicts and challenges into opportunities for growth and repair, restoring hope and resilience in the relationship. The other issue that I hear often is they want to learn how to communicate better with one another. So we want to help them develop skills for expressing needs and desires constructively, replacing criticism and blame with healthy communication and collaboration. So those are often the stated goals that couples have. But the other benefits of relational therapy are the more underlying goals. To heal childhood wounds. The philosophy in Imago is that we choose our partners to help heal the wounds that we had in childhood. And we believe that this partner, it will be the one that will help us in healing those wounds. So we will explore and address unresolved issues from childhood that may be impacting current relationship dynamics, promoting healing and emotional integration. Hello? Okay. We also want to help them to release protective defenses. I'm hearing voices in the background. Thank you. Okay, so we want to release protective defenses, encourage vulnerability and authenticity by dismantling defensive barriers, allowing for greater emotional openness and connection. And finally, we want to cultivate aliveness and open-heartedness. I believe this is the point of therapy in general, is to regain access to our open hearts. So we want to help support partners in embracing life with vitality and authenticity, fostering a sense of aliveness and receptivity to love and joy. Okay. Those are big, lofty goals that we have for our couples. So now I want to talk a bit about bioenergetics and Imago relationship therapy. So first, as most of us here today know, bioenergetic analysis was developed by Alexander Lowen, It is a somatic relational psychotherapy grounded in developmental and attachment theories. Imago Relationship Therapy was developed by Harville Hendricks and his wife, Helen LaKelly Hunt. Imago is a relational psychotherapy, also rooted in developmental and attachment theories. And we'll talk more about the two of them in that comparison. So bioenergetic analysis, at the core, bioenergetic analysis recognizes character structure as physical, emotional, and mental protections formed in response to developmental and attachment wounds. These structures often lead to disconnection from one's fully alive, connected, and authentic self. In Imago, partner selection. Imago posits that partner selection is influenced by unconscious choices based on childhood images of parents or caretakers and their relationships to one another and to us. The Imago match reflects an unconscious desire to recover wholeness by restoring connection with oneself and others. So you can see how our character structure will play a part in our partner selection, because we will choose out of those defensive protections, as well as from a deeper need. Bioenergetics is a suppression of authenticity. Individuals may internalize self-hatred, shame, and defenses, leading to disconnection and suppression of their authentic selves. In Imago, we believe that our partners carry the parts of ourselves that we hide to survive, reflecting a shared blueprint for growth and healing. What I find attractive in my partner are oftentimes parts of myself that I had to suppress, and what they find attractive in me are oftentimes parts of themselves that they had to suppress. The trick is that our partners will struggle to meet our needs, and we will struggle to meet their needs because of those defenses or protections we learned in response to our past wounds. So together, similar to bioenergetics, Imago emphasizes healing within the relationships. By growing through their character defenses, partners can foster connection and overcome self-hatred, shame, and ultimately say yes to love and aliveness. And isn't that what we all want? So I want to look a moment at the developmental stages. We can see that early in our lives, we are working on existing bonding, attachment, reliability, availability, emotional attunement, warmth. That's what we want from our parents. We want a message that it's okay to be. And the subjective experience, I am secure. We want to have a healthy outcome of emotional security. Next, we want to be given permission to explore, to allow ourselves to be different, to be consistent in our safety, and to also have protective limits and boundaries. We want to know that it's okay to explore and that I am separate and safe. So we will have a healthy outcome, intact curiosity and self-differentiation. Where they're wounded on this developmental scale and what they will struggle with in the therapy session, because we will choose partners who are wounded at similar developmental stages. The next stage is about identifying. We want mirroring, we want consistency. affirmations, want to know it's okay to be who we are, even if that changes often. I am me, I am unique. So when we want a healthy outcome of secure internal world, centered, healthy self-assertion. And finally, we want to be able to feel competent in our doing. We want praise and clear boundaries. It's okay to be powerful. I am effective. And we want healthy outcome of feeling the effectiveness and sense of power. So in Imago, we talk about when we're not getting our needs met from our parents. Either our parents are over-involved, intrusive, insensitive, invasive, controlling, invalidating. They have a bigger energy that takes over. Or they are under-involved, avoidant, neglectful, unavailable, withdrawn, disinterested, a minimizing energy. Either one creates pain for us, either pain on contact or pain in the loss of contact. And we create defenses against that pain in order to survive. And we will then either maximize our energy or minimize our energy. And you might do both, but in extreme emotional conditions, you probably get bigger. Let's talk about it. We need to talk about it. What are you thinking? That kind of energy. Or we minimize and we don't want to talk about it and we want to avoid talking about it. And these two energies are looking for wholeness. So they often are attracted to one another so that they can have a full pulse in and out rather than being stuck in one or the other. I'll be happy to answer more questions about it. It's kind of a simplistic way of looking at it. So many of us in bioenergetics have seen this diagram before. It's Robert Hilton's diagram of the character armoring process. So that energy that comes from the left, that reach into the world, is our authentic energy reaching into the world to love and be loved. Oftentimes is hit with an environmental no. Don't be so loud. Don't think you're so smart. Don't be sexy. Don't be more powerful than me. We get lots of no messages in our environment, and that causes us to contract in our bodies and develop a psychic adaptation. Who do you want me to be? Do you want me to be smart? Do you want me to be dumb? Do you want me to be funny? Do you want me to be quiet? And we will adapt to our environment in order to survive. So I want to take this into our relationships. So when we grow up and we're looking for romantic partners, we find someone with whom we feel an infatuation. We feel a sense of knowing, I belong with you. I know you. It feels like I've known you forever. That's in the romantic phase. And that is chemically driven. Those strong attachments that we have in the early stages. Then we move into a stage that in Imago we call power struggle. And this is when the differences start to show up. Now we are reacting to the differences of the other because we start to feel afraid. I just opened my heart to you, and now we are having these differences, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose that attachment that I have been longing for. So we do our maximizing or our minimizing behaviors, and that's where the power struggle in the relationship happens. Now, if couples do not know how to be curious how to do dialogues, don't understand the dynamics behind the power struggle, they will get stuck here and often separate or divorce. But this is when we see them in therapy because they have been entrenched in this power struggle for a while. And now they are taking this to therapy to see if anything can happen before they split up. If we can teach them how to work through this, then we move into a stage called real love or mature love that's more grounded in reality and also grounded in differentiation. We have two differentiated people in relationship with one another, accepting that they are different. In the beginning, it's more symbiotic, and we need to differentiate in order to have a healthy relationship. All right. So this is what happens in the power struggle. We have each of these characters reaching toward one another to try to get needs met. They're getting an environmental no from their partners, and they're contracting back into their character structure styles and adaptations. They will get quiet, they will get louder, but the relationship will struggle because each is in their protective defensive structures. But sorry about that. What we want to do is have that space between be a more positive environment so that when we're reaching toward one another, even in conflict, that we are welcomed, our partners are curious about us. We want to know why we are each reacting the ways that we are, why we see the world the way that we see the world. It's like being from two different countries. If I want to understand you, I have to go visit your country and bring my curiosity. And similarly, you have to come to my world and bring your curiosity. And in that curiosity and good intention, we can help dissolve some of that rigid character structure and adaptation so that we can each become more fully alive within ourselves and within the relationship. So I hope that that helps. So I just want to share quickly the structure for the Imago dialogue. I mentioned earlier in this webinar that I wanted to talk about ritual, and the dialogue is part of ritual. When couples come to my office, we do a grounding. They sit across from one another. They speak to each other in this style. They make appointments before they talk about anything important rather than just ambushing somebody with an intense feeling that you're having. Is this a good time for me to talk to you about this? Yes, it's a good time. And then they sit and talk to one another. One person speaks. The other person is mirroring what they're hearing. When the first person is done speaking, the second person summarizes what they've heard and validates. You make sense. In your world, your beliefs, your reaction makes sense. If you believed that I was trying to hurt you in this way, it makes sense that you would react the way that you did. And then we have empathy. So I imagine about that you were feeling hurt and scared and unloved. And that process becomes very healing. And then we switch and go the other way. So each person in the dialogue has a responsibility. First, they're facing one another. They're not talking to me. I'm on the sidelines just helping them to communicate, but they're speaking to each other. They're curious, respectful, have an open posture, breathing deeply. The sender has a responsibility to send in short sends 1 or 2 sentences so that the person who's listening can mirror back what they're hearing. You focus on one topic. I want to talk to you about what happened yesterday, so I'm not going to bring up everything else that's happened in our relationship. I state it in an essence statement. Many of us say a lot of words, but sometimes we don't need as many words. But if I just want you to know the essence of what I'm telling you, it helps you to hear me. And I want to be intentional in my message. So that means I don't want to beat you up. I don't want to criticize you. I don't want you to feel diminished by me if I'm really wanting you to hear what I have to say. The receiver has a responsibility to mirror accurately with a similar tone that you're sending. No sarcasm. We can send a lot of messages just in our tone of voice. So we want to mirror in an accurate way. If you're saying too many words for me to remember, then I can use a pause button and just ask you to pause so that I can mirror you. And I'm going to contain my own reactivity. And that takes practice. And that's part of why we do this in a ritual way. And I'm going to try to listen to understand. Many of us listen to rebuke what we're hearing. I'm listening to understand. So that means I'm listening with my heart in a deeper way. So that's really all I want to tell you today. And now I want to show you a recording, and then we can have many questions afterwards if you wish. So I'd like to invite and introduce you to Megan and Steve. First, I want to tell you they are not clients of mine. They volunteered to do this recording, and they knew nothing about bioenergetics. She is a trainee in my Imago facilitator training for non-clinicians, which requires them to attend a couples workshop, a Getting the Love You Want Imago workshop for couples, and that's how I met him. Her father had been a client of mine on and off for 30 years until he had attended the facilitator training the previous year. I met her for the first time when she was 15, when her dad and mom brought the family in for a family session. She didn't remember that had happened, and he didn't remember that had happened either until she walked into my workshop. And she looked at me and she said, "You look familiar to me." And I reminded her that I had met her when she was a teenager. And she was so angry and defensive about all that was happening in the family. She and Steve married in 2012. They have one daughter who is 11 and one son who is 7. So I said all of that. So Megan was the middle child of 2 brothers. She had had a lot of responsibility, like babysitting her newborn brother at 8 years of age. Parents were divorced when she was a teenager. She acted out with drugs and pushing boundaries while she was an adolescent. She nursed her mom until she died of pancreatic cancer in 2012, which was 2 months before Megan was married. Very hard time. Her older brother died 5 years ago due to complications of diabetes. She has more of a masochistic character structure and really endures a lot. She teaches crafting online and is the primary breadwinner through that skill. She's 41 years old. Steve is the younger of 2 boys. His brother was the superhero of the family, and Steve never measured up. He was sickly and overprotected. His parents still give him the message that he's incapable of doing anything. He was telling me that they had just visited his parents and his mom wanted something lifted, and he said, "I can do that." And she said, no, let your brother do it. So even today, she treats him as sickly. He believes he may have had Crohn's arthritis his whole life. In 2006, he had 2 major surgeries for colon cancer. He's more of a schizoid character. and collapses. He's erratic, low-level employment, promotes skateboarding as a sideline. He's 52 years old. Just hard to believe for me that he is that age because of his character. So I have 3 separate recordings that I want to show you. In the first recording, you will see how I use Imago dialogue and small postural interventions to elicit significant awareness about relational pattern that is creating stress and frustration in their relationship. Through their work, we were able to speak more truthfully to one another than they ever have. This helped them feel hopeful about changing the pattern to increase their connection. The second, I'll stop in between and maybe make a comment or two. The second begins with barrel work, and the third is a supportive pose. I want you to please understand that I've edited almost 3 hours of session work into approximately 25 minutes of recording. I can't show you all the interventions or conversations or intricacies, but I hope you'll get a good sense of the work I did with this couple. And just look at each other. And as we've talked about in the past, each of you are an entity. And then we have this third entity between you called the relationship. So I want you to imagine that you can just enter into that space together called your relationship. And just feel, what are the qualities in that space as we begin today?
I think we're stronger together.
So in that space, there's a knowing that you're stronger together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And keep looking around and feeling around in that space. Sadness. Yeah, for you too.
Oh.
Yeah. What else? So in that space, I know that you've been going through a lot. And just see what kind of shows itself. What wants attention today? Is there a dynamic going on between you? Is there something that makes this a little bit challenging to be fully connected? What's in this?
I don't know who I am. I know what I want to be, but I'll make a list. This is what I'm going to do, this is what I do, and I go back to it. I don't know who I am.
So Steve, for you, when you don't know who you are, how does that affect the relationship space?
I think it makes Megan less safe. She feels things are rotten. Unstable is the word, I think.
So you know what he's talking about, Megan. When he doesn't know who he is, then you get shaken at the core and you feel unstable.
Yeah.
And then how does that affect you, Megan, when you feel unstable and unsafe?
I think with the flip-floppy and a lack of confidence in one solid thing, that I have a hard time backing it because I don't know what it's going to be 24 hours from now. It's hard to count on.
Yeah.
And then what do you do when you feel like you can't count on the consistency?
I doubt.
And then what? How do you show up in the relationship?
I question.
You question? And does that lean towards being critical?
Probably
Skeptical?
in seeking that stability.
Okay. So you both feel insecure, unstable. You pretend, hide who you really are, pretend, and then you get scared and you start questioning, and that gets taken in as criticism, and then the cycle just flows.
Mhm.
Yeah. You both know. So you both know how to hide yourselves. And that then affects your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. So just take a breath. And remember you talking about wanting to take yourself more seriously. Wanting to believe in yourself more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just breathe into that.
I have no idea how to do it.
What to do.
Take myself more serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's wrong too. These voices, these sounds, it's just a lot.
Yeah. I hear you say.
I hear you say that you don't know how to begin to take yourself seriously, and that there's a lot of voices and sounds. Yeah, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So Steve, again, I'm going to invite you to sit back, to feel your feet on the ground. Relax your arms as much as possible if you need to release for a minute. That's it. And I want you to expand your chest a little bit, even to bring your arms out. Good. Move your head back. And I'm going to try something with this pillow, okay? I'm going to put this right behind your chest.
That's all right.
Right there?
Yeah, that's good. It's nice.
Yeah. So just take a few breaths and notice how the breath goes deeper into your belly. And what's happening for you, Megan, as Steve's doing this?
I'm just relaxing my shoulders and just trying to breathe and pay attention. And
But you noticed that when he did this, you took a deeper breath.
yeah,
You relaxed.
we were hunched over and I kind of needed to.
Yeah. Do you feel more present?
Like at the moment,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
present then,
Before, just a few minutes ago?
yeah.
Presence. And notice that as you sit like this, and you can get your breath deeper into your body, if that helps you to feel more present.
Yeah, it does.
Can you hear a difference in his voice?
Yeah.
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
Like I know what I'm doing.
There's a resonance?
Yeah.
And all the way down into your chest. Your
Yeah.
voice is deeper?
Deeper,
Yes.
more authoritative. That word.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So you can feel your voice is deeper,
Yeah.
more authoritative.
I like it.
Uh-huh. So from this place, just let it be. And something will float to the surface that needs to be said or that needs attention or not. And then we'll switch to the other side and we'll go back and forth until we feel like you've gotten what you need today.
I'm sorry I don't always offer stability. I'm sorry if I hide and don't tell you how I'm feeling, what I'm going through.
I hear you say you're sorry for not offering stability and hiding. You said one more, but I didn't. I missed it.
That's okay. I just want you to know I love you, and I only want to do what's right for us. I just don't always know what right is. Thank you for grading on a curve.
And thank you for see what you want him to know. What's the essence of this message and how it affects you in this relationship? The essence of this message is that I feel like my only option is to just be strong all the time. And I tell myself that because that's been my life's history. So just feel what is happening in your body as you're saying this. What are you noticing? I get that. Clenching, restriction. What else do you notice in your body? Just heavy. A heaviness. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to hurt your feelings. Or keep breathing, Megan. And just see him here. See him holding this space for you. This is what he wants to do, is to be strong for you. And just look at him here. And make sure you keep breathing, Steve. And just notice how that affects that clenching and holding tightness when you take him in. And again, see him holding space for you, which I know you're not used to. You're the one usually holding space for everybody else. So just see if you take that in, just looking at him. You don't ever have to say another word, but I just want you to practice taking him in. And no matter whatever happened before this or whatever's going to happen after this, in this moment, he's holding space for you. I like it. Can I try something? I'm going to take this off. So. Stay with that, Megan. I think you need to help yourself. I hear you say, you think I need to help myself. Is there more?
Hey, so I started the session with them by grounding them both individually and then put them into grounding within the relationship. And just that grounding brought up sensations for her. And they were able to identify what was in the relationship space that needed some attention. So he identified that he didn't know himself and how he had internalized that message. And at one point during the session, he chuckled, and that's how I got him to identify that he doesn't take himself seriously. And that's when I put the pillow behind him. So if you have questions about the session, of course, we can talk about that. So the second part of the session, I had started by teaching them grounding exercises because I thought it would help them to feel more confident within themselves. And then this led into some barrel work. So that's what I'm going to show you next. And then when you're ready, look up and see Megan.
Right.
Breathe. Ah, a long deep breath, Steve. So you're making the sound from here, and I want it to come all the way from down here. And I want you to look at Megan when you do it. Open it, open it. There it is, there it is, there it is. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Is it too much?
No.
Can I do it again?
Yeah.
And then just pull your head back a little bit, because I'm going to have him really let go. Ready, Steve? We're going to let out a big yell. Ready? Inhale. Yeah. Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You still okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got a surge of energy. Okay?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. Did you just get scared?
No. I
Mm-hmm.
think I scared Megan.
I'm okay.
All right.
Did you scare yourself?
Maybe.
Yeah. So just rest. Megan wants you to get bigger. Wants you to be more you. Are you ready for that?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. You can stop now if you want to. It's really up to you.
I think I do want to stop.
Okay, so we're going to go really slow, really slow. Really, really slow. And then bend forward. Stretch out your back that way.
Sorry.
No, you're great. What's really important about doing this work is that you know your boundaries. Because I can't do the work with you if you can't say no when it's time to say no. So what you just did is something that you can't do with your family, is say no.
That's true.
That was really good, Steve. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Okay, so I want you to get on your feet and do a bend over. And stretch and stand here. Over here. Stand here.
Man.
And just look at each other. What would you like to say to each other?
Was that uncomfortable?
No, I was braced for it. I think you gotta get it out, but in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And when I see you getting it out in a healthy way,
And when I see you getting it out in a healthy way, it feels productive.
try again.
I feel here. I don't know.
Safe,
Yeah, present?
present. So mirror what she said.
I hear you say that after this you feel present and comfortable.
When you get that out
When I
productively.
get out productively, so
And Steve?
I feel good, but I feel there's something that wants to come out and I'm afraid of it.
I hear you say.
I hear you say that there's more, but you're afraid of it.
Just feel what that feels like in your body, Steve, that you could be much more powerful and not have to worry about hurting anybody like the people in your family do. They were the ones with all the power and they just hurt people with it. Right? That's not you. So just know that, just feel that, just know that in your heart and your gut, that this stuff needs to come out because it's poisoning you, but it's not coming out like it comes out when they do it.
Yeah.
And the tears are about
They're kind of, they're joy, that I'm
relief.
not a mess and I'm not a complete mess.
And tears are joy that you're not a complete mess.
Yeah. And again, Steve, that's because you never had support. You never had anybody show you how to do this in a productive way.
Right.
But just keep reaching. I want you to keep reaching for him. Feel yourself reaching for him. Yeah, there you go. Bring your face a little closer. There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. And bend the other way. Go ahead and do a bend over. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what do you notice in yourselves and in that space between you? I do need you.
I need you. This needs us.
And try taking a step toward each other. Just one step, and just notice. All right. See, I was working on Steve opening up and feeling more capacity within himself to be powerful. And with Megan, I was working on releasing some of the holding that she has against reaching and being vulnerable within herself. So I tried to do a back-to-back supportive exercise with them after this. And what came out of that was Megan was physically poking at Steve to try to get him in the right place and being a bit critical about the way that he was. And I worked with both of them actually, but mostly her, to express what she needed rather than stating what wasn't there or what he wasn't doing. And that was a really big challenge for her. So she doesn't even know that she's being critical in that way. And then he internalizes it and tries to figure out what she wants without really knowing. And then he gets it wrong and he gets it wrong and he gets it wrong. And then that pattern starts to happen in their relationship. So I realized that it was the back-to-back exercise that wasn't working for them so well. So I put them in what I call a cradling position, where he is actually holding her. And that actually worked much better. And she was able to release. So that's what I want to show you now. And after the cradling, they had a final dialogue. And you can see how it ties back to the initial dialogue that we had.
So you face that way?
Yeah.
Oh,
And you're going to lean across his chest with your hands across your chest. and your head against his heart. And then, again, you're going to sit in a way that feels most supported and most comfortable to you. So the two of you tell each other what you need. And just let him hold you. You're doing great.
Fall asleep right here.
What was that?
I said I could just fall asleep right here.
Oh, wish I could let you.
Oh.
And what I'd like you to do is just have a quick dialogue, what it was like to be held, what it was like to hold you.
It was very comforting to just be held.
I hear you say it was very comforting to be held.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about that.
Tell me more about that.
I like to cuddle. Need it.
You like to cuddle and you need it.
I need it because
I need it because it refills my heart.
You need it because it refills your heart. Is there more?
I pour out a lot. And sometimes I feel real empty.
You pour out a lot, you feel real empty. Is there more?
and how this recharges me is
And how this recharges me because it makes me feel loved and safe.
It recharges you because it makes you feel loved and safe. Is there more?
and it does that because
And it does that because it's comfort. I don't have a word for what this makes me feel.
You don't have a word for what this makes you feel.
Yeah.
But you like it.
Yeah.
It's comfort.
Yeah.
and I can let go.
And I can let go.
I like that. And you can let go.
What it was like to hold you.
What it was like to hold you was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was, at first, I don't know if I do it right, but once I got it, it felt like when I was holding our kids when they were newborns, I could keep them safe, and I was doing it right.
So what it was like to hold me at first, you didn't think you were doing it right. And then you got the hang of it, and it felt like holding our newborns to keep them safe.
Yeah. I liked it.
You liked it.
Yeah.
And what I liked most about it is
What I liked most about it is you were relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing that.
And what you liked most about it was I was relaxed and you were doing that.
and to feel like I can give you something like that is what
And yeah, to feel that I can give you something like that is not just rewarding, it's something I want to do.
And to feel like that's something that you can give to me is not only rewarding, but it's something that you can do
For you.
for
and
me
need to do.
I need to do.
and you need to do.
Because I need to do it because
I need to do it because you do a lot and you need filled up. And I need to do it because I need to know I can do it.
And you need to do it because you need to know that you can do it and that I do a lot for others and I need it. And you're the only one that can do it.
I know.
mirror that, Steve. That's important.
I'm the only one that can do it.
So check in and see if there's more that you need to say about this for today.
I think I need to find a way to
think I need to find a way to not take a request into the belittle it. Maybe it's just a request.
So it sounds like you're both willing to challenge yourselves. And that's a really important thing, to start moving from your positions and your patterns into a possible new way of being with each other. So this is the place where the power struggle is because of the old stuff. And it's a tiny thing, but it creates a big distance between you.
Absolutely.
So let's work on this one little thing and see that's going to have a ripple effect on so many other things.
It's awesome.
Make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice job, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's everybody take a breath. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you. I feel a special tenderness toward Megan and Steve, and appreciate them sharing their relationship with me and with us. And I appreciate you participating in this webinar. So
Noi e apprezzo anche il fatto che possiate condividere con me questo webinar.
hello? Somebody's talking? Okay, so Miriam, I'm ready for
Sì, Anna,
questions.
sono pronta. Chiedo
Hello?
Hello. My video is slow. Ai, não consigo. I can't open my video, Bruno.
Você quer abrir o seu?
Uhum.
Você quer abrir agora? Deixa eu abrir depois, comigo.
Agora. Ah, okay. Okay. Here. So, Garet, first question from Eleonora. Is it possible to have information on how to become an Imago facilitator?
Yes. So there's an international Imago training institute, and we have trainers all around the world, and you can receive training. I also would be more than happy to come and to your country and train you. So get in touch with me and I will help you find the best option for that.
Okay. I'm waiting for the second. Marco, we have a second question. We have, do we have, Marco?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay. So we can wait. Okay. Question 2. Congratulations for the intervention. In the recording, I had the sensation of an excessive directness of the therapeutic intervention. Was it just an impression?
It probably, there was some directness in the intervention, and there's a lot that was edited out that led to that directness. So it's a mix of the two things. So
Okay.
we led up to it more gracefully than you saw in the video. There was a lot of dialogue that happened between the two of them.
Mhm. Mhm. Third question. First, thank you for the interesting webinar. My question relates to the couples with whom you can actually apply this technique. I guess with angry couples may be difficult.
Well, I work with a lot of angry couples, actually. I work with couples that have already signed divorce papers and are ready to leave the relationship. They're very angry with one another. And the structure helps hold them against their reactivity. And the process of one person speaking at a time while the other person is holding space helps to reduce some of that reactivity. Then there's also, I have had sessions where somebody is so angry. Like I had a session one time where the husband was very angry with the wife because of something she had said or done. And with some dialogue, it related to him being bullied by his brother when he was a little boy. So I had him hitting on the mat and kicking the mat while she observed, and he was able to express all that anger toward his brother and then turn toward her and was actually able to apologize to her for expressing that anger toward her when it really didn't belong to her. And she had a lot of insight into why he had been so angry. So that was very helpful. I've also had sessions where there's a lot of push and pull, come close, go away. And I had them actually doing a pushing and retreating exercise. And that helped to make the dynamic more visceral. So depends on what's happening. You can find a way to bring it to the session in a safe way.
Yes, I would like to say my sensation. My sensation about your session was about you worked step by step, no? One by one, and her own feeling, no? And then couple, and then the individual, and then couple. I think it's more, it's brings, no? So, it's bring it to be easy, maybe, to express to be angry, no? Step by step. My sensation, yeah.
Yes, and by step, I think what you're saying is when we as individuals can recognize, I'm being angry at you, but the anger, the deep anger that I feel is really my own, that I
Yeah.
carry in my body because of
Yeah.
my wounding in
Yeah.
my childhood. And once I can accept that and feel that and express some of that, then I can turn back toward my partner in a more settled, grounded way. Yes.
There are space from both, no? Yeah.
Space for,
Yeah.
and to turn toward the relationship. And eventually what happens is I will notice, oh, I am getting stimulated. I want to be angry with you, but I'm recognizing this is an old anger. and I can turn toward my partner and say, I'm
Oh.
noticing that I want to get angry, I want to react. And if my partner can hold space and say, please tell me more, with
Yes.
knowing that it's not about them, then
Yes.
they can start to bring that into the relationship and
This is
know each
amazing.
other in a more intimate way.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I think so. Question 4. Good evening. How long can a session last? Is there a set time? Thanks and congratulations. Thoroughly an exciting intervention.
Thank you.
So,
Well,
is there a set time? How
Yes.
long can a session? Okay.
Yes, when I work with couples, I try to work for a session and a half or a double session because it takes time to get both sides of the story. So if they can afford it and we can make the time for it, that's what I try to do. If I have a couple that can only meet for one session, then we do the best we can, and maybe we only do one side this week and one side next week. So I try to make it work. I also will offer a half day or a full day or 2 days for couples. I call it a couples intensive. So I have spent a whole weekend with one couple doing this work, or I have had, multiple couples over the course of 3 days. And we do this work, not so much bioenergetic intervention, but teaching them how to be in relationship with one another.
Okay. Okay. Question 5. About Gaetano. If we broaden our gaze by going beyond the individual or couple dimension, and therefore take into account that individuals increasingly live in a social context characterized by precariousness, liquid society, this generates a systematic existential precariousness which exposes us to greater instability, not only those who carry within themselves a secure base, but above all, those with an insecure base, then a potential destructive propellant effect could result, which can affect the couple in the sense emotionally charged. Then any intervention only with a psychological value does not risk to be reductive.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
I can repeat. So, yes, in my English. If we broaden our gaze by going beyond the individual or couple dimension, and therefore take into account that individuals increasingly live in a social context characterized by precariousness, liquid society. This generates a systematic existential precariousness which exposes us to greater instability, not only those who carry within themselves a secure base, but above all those with an insecure base, then a potential destructive propellant effect could result, which can affect the couple in the sense emotionally charged. Then an intervention only with a psychological value does not risk to be reductive. Did you understand?
I'm not
Could you
really
understand?
sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure I understand, but my belief and the belief of many in the Imago society is that we can, if we begin healing within the relationship of the couple, and they bring that healing into the relationship with their children and their community, then we begin a ripple effect into the world. Because of course, we're always interacting with other people, societies, clinics, religions, schools. So we're always in that kind of relational work with one another. So if we can do the best we know how to do with our individuals, with our couples, then we can bring a ripple effect into our societies. And I know in Brazil, you do a lot of social work there. So thank you for that.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
So many questions.
Good.
Question 6. Yes, it's good. I'm very close to this model, which includes different aspects such as the body, feelings, and these together. Can a journey of trust be integrated into this path? One of the two taking turns, blindfolded and guided by the other?
That sounds like a great intervention. And then, talking about the trust beforehand,
Uh-huh.
doing the blindfolded guided walk, and then talking about what that was like, similar to the holding, what it was like to be led, what it was like to lead you, and have a dialogue about that. You can do almost any intervention, and it's going to bring up the relational pattern. No matter what you do, it's going to bring up the relational pattern. And then you can have them talk about that. Because couples will come into our office and tell us a story about something that happened out in the world. But if we can bring it live in the room and intervene on it right here in the room, then it's more powerful.
Mhm. Okay. Question 7, Daniela. I would like to ask if these techniques can be performed on people with psychotic tendencies. Could it be useful for keeping people in the here and now?
Well, I don't like to say things in broad generalization. I think for some people with psychotic tendencies, some interventions could be helpful. And
Mhm.
you have to know the individual and their particular tendencies and triggers before you would want to introduce any intervention.
Okay. Okay.
But there's no reason
Be,
not to try some things.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Beatrice, it was really beautiful to see how collaborative both clients were and to observe the outcome. Thank you. I was wondering, did Steve have previous experience with therapy or was this his first session? I was surprised that there seemed to be no resistance from his side, although the work was intense.
Mhm. He has not been in therapy before. The two of them spent 3 days with me in a couples workshop. And the
Okay.
first day was with the horses. And Steve was terrified of all animals, dogs, cats, horses, any animal.
Oh,
He was terrified. And by the end of the day with the horse, he was holding and hugging the horse and laying across the horse's back. It was just beautiful transformation. And so in the course of those 3 days, they learned the dialogue, the Imago process together. But that was the only exposure I've had to him and he's ever had to therapy. And I don't believe Megan's been in therapy either. But Megan has been with me for the last 6 months, I believe, in one of my trainings to teach people how to use Imago who are not clinicians. I teach a class for clinicians and for non-clinicians. And so she's been in that class with me. And when I wanted to do a recording, they both said, sure, we'll do it. We don't know what we're doing, but we'll do it. So they're very brave.
Yes. Yes, it's amazing. Mhm.
And when I asked them, do you have these kinds of conversations with one another? They said, only at the workshop. That was the only time they've had that kind of conversation to talk about what's really happening in their relationship. And then this session.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Ana Maria, what if there is no awareness that anger is within oneself?
If there's no
I
awareness
can
that,
repeat.
yeah.
What if there is no awareness that awareness that anger is within oneself?
Mhm. Well, I think that's true much of the time, that because of our early wounding and neglect, we carry a rage inside of ourselves that seeps out in little ways, and it may come out in little criticisms, or in Megan's case, it may come out in the way that she questions him. So she didn't realize that she had anger.
Mhm.
I don't believe Steve really knows how much rage he carries within himself, but it's starting to come out in relationship with Megan and the kids, and it's scaring her a little bit. So helping both of them to be more grounded in what's happened to them in their lives and how they carry that in their bodies is really important, so that it doesn't come out sideways in a hurtful way with them, with each other and with their children, is really important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. 11, question 11. What do you mean by carrying out more behavioral and psychoeducational intervention?
What do I mean by that?
What do you mean by carrying out more behavioral and psychoeducational intervention?
I'm not sure where that's coming from. Was it something that I said or something in the slides? I have
Yeah,
amnesia about it.
me too. Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah, so the only thing I can imagine that I meant when I said that is that when we identify an issue that's being present in a relationship, or a pattern that's happening in the relationship, I do as much education about this pattern originating in childhood and where it may have come from. They do a lot of work on identifying that within themselves. And then we have different kinds of dialogues that we do where they may request a behavior from one another. I would like to feel more loved by you. So some of the ways that you might be able to help me feel more loved are texting me during the day and telling me you care about me, or when you come home from work, find me in the house and give me a 10-second hug and tell me that you missed me, or something like that. We could do a behavioral interventions in that way. But I often want to make what's cognitive more visceral. So I'm always balancing those two things. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Question 12. How long do therapies usually last in total?
How long do therapists usually last?
Usually last in total.
I'm not sure what that means. You mean in our profession?
I don't know. Me too. I don't know.
40
How long?
years. They heard 40 years I've been doing this. They wonder how much longer
Yeah.
I'm going to hold out.
10 years, 5 years, 6 years, so 20 years.
Well, Lowen worked into his 80s, so I
Yeah.
have another few years to go.
Yeah, yeah. There's no time regular. So another question. I heard about the couple worked with the horse the first day, which I would like to learn more about. So my question is, how may I contact you?
I believe that my information is in some material that you received. Garet at GaretBedrosian.com. You can see my name on my picture. Garet at GaretBedrosian.com is the best way to get a hold of me. I would love to talk to anybody about anything that I do and how to help you to learn.
Yeah.
Yes, the work with the horses is very bioenergetic because they are all sense. And when they are with a human being, it's all about sense. They have no judgments. They have no bad feelings about anything that you do. It's all about, am I safe or am I in danger? And I believe that's how we are as human beings with each other. Do I feel safe with you or do I feel scared in some way? And usually, if we are congruent in who we are, if we return back to our most authentic selves and are congruent with who we are, then people read us as safe. It's when we are incongruent in some way, the horses will read us as unsafe and other people will feel uncomfortable even if they don't know why. It's very powerful work.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing to work with horses, no? I love horses. In my childhood, I have many contact with horses. And so till today, I think that this kind of work is very helpful for humans and a good link, no?
Yes.
Between, yeah,
Yes. And
good healing.
it's very fun to do the horse work with couples because I put them in a round arena, round pen with a horse, one person, one horse. And the horse oftentimes will react the way that their partner reacts. So they get the same feedback from the horse that they got from their partner, or it brings up feelings within them that they have with their partner. I can tell you one example that I had a couple, they were in their 30s. They were talking about getting a divorce. So we did one horse stay with them. And he was very clingy. He was the youngest of 5 boys. He only got attention from his father by being big and active. So he played drums and he raced cars. She came from a very chaotic family, lots of abuse, alcoholism, sexual abuse, all kinds of abuse. So loud and big makes her very scared. So we put him in the round pen with the horse, and the horse would not leave his side. I hope I'm not speaking too fast. So I worked with him about trusting if he let go of the relationship, he could get it back when he was ready. So he did that work, and the horse was able to leave him and walk around the round pen. When he was done, the horse came back, and his wife said, I want to give him a hug. So I said, notice how you didn't have to do anything to get that. I put her in the round pen, and the horse started running fast, 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 fast around the round pen. And she was just standing there. I said, you are the only one in there. What's happening inside of you that you are creating this outside of yourself? So she worked to calm herself, and the horse stopped running. But the horse would not come to her. And I asked her, do you want to be in a relationship? And she said, I don't know. I want to know how to be in a relationship, but I don't know if I want to be in a relationship. I said, well, that's the
Mhm.
feedback that you're getting from the horse. Then I put them in together, and they had to work at blending their energies. And
Mhm.
eventually the horse followed the two of them together. But they had to work at that. So it
Wow.
was very powerful for them.
Wow.
Yeah. Very bioenergetic.
Yeah, very bioenergetic. Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. Just imagine. So let me um mm, I I was wondering if you explain to the members of the couple what the mechanisms of attraction are according to Imago. That is, if there is an aspect of theory addressed to their mind.
I do brief pieces of psychoeducation throughout the course of therapy. I first want to explain to them what's happening in their relationship. I want to normalize it, that they were attracted to one another because of some unconscious mechanism in their brain, and they're in power struggle because of that same mechanism. They're trying to be safe, to differentiate, and to be accepted. But they have to settle some unmet needs and wounding within themselves in order for that to happen. So I want to make that a very normal thing for them, that everybody in relationship has to go through this to one degree or another, that what you are experiencing is not abnormal, that your relationship is not broken. You just don't know the skills yet. And this is some of the background of the skills that I'm going to teach you. And that seems to help settle them, because they come in thinking that I'm going to either tell them you have to break up, or this is not fixable, or your partner's the problem. That's mostly what happens. If we fix your partner, then your relationship will be fine. And
Yeah.
that's the case. I always say every relationship makes sense. We just have to figure out the sense that it makes. What are the two of you contributing to this space between you that's creating this nightmare that you're living in when you wanted to live a dream? And how do we get back to the dream that you first believed that you could have with one another? That it's not one person's all wrong and the other person's right. We're both contributing in some way to the problem. Now, of course, there are addictions, there's physical abuse, there's all kinds of problems, mental illness, that also have to be addressed. But there's a reason that this person chose someone like that. And that's the dynamic that we want to work on, while this one person is working on the mental illness or the addiction or whatever else they have to work on within themselves.
Yeah.
But every relationship makes sense. One of my mentors says there's no such thing as a difficult couple. It's only couples that bring you to the edge of your knowledge. So
Yeah.
the therapist has to grow in order to know how to help the couple or the individual.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. Maria Clara, some people might need individual therapy to have a more effective session in a couple.
Well,
Could be better.
Imago believes that the healing needs to happen in relationship.
Ah, wow.
For the individual to be better, you do the healing work in the relationship. So in bioenergetics, we work in relationship with our clients to try to help
Yeah.
them to resolve relational issues, right?
Yeah.
But even within that, when they are partnered in a romantic way with somebody, those dynamics will still show up. There's an analogy somebody said to me one time, a football player can look really good in practice on the sidelines, but you don't know how good they are until you put them in the game. And it's the same thing with relationships. We can do individual therapy, but the dynamic that shows up in a relationship is going to be there. If you do a lot of individual work, maybe it's less, but it's still going to show up. If you have attachment wounds, it's still going to show up. Early in my life, I would get big and loud and fight. Now I'm more capable of saying, I feel triggered, I feel scared, I feel alone, I feel hurt. I'm more capable of doing that than I used to because of the work that I've been able to do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm enchanted with you speaking.
I
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
way you're
yeah.
looking at me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great. So I think we have another question.
Right.
Let me see here. Yeah. Gaetano, the couples you generally meet belong to what? To what socio-economic status?
Hmm.
Status, Bruno?
Yes. Well, I meet couples from lots of different socioeconomics. I also have people that I train that work with migrants. I have a number of trainees who work with migrants. Um, people who work in different um, um, different groups. I don't speak Spanish, so I'm limited in the people that I can work with here. So I refer them to my trainees who do speak Spanish. But I often, when I'm doing couples workshops, I have some places for people who cannot afford therapy, and I let them come into my workshops and teach them this dynamic as well.
I think it is bioenergetic, no? This kind of of work of you do,
Yeah,
of
to
you are
reach.
doing, yeah.
Yeah. And I bring bioenergetics to Imago. I just did a workshop at a conference, international Imago conference last summer. And I did a session on bringing bioenergetics to Imago for that group. So that group is getting more interested in bioenergetics, and hopefully this group gets more interested in Imago because I think it's a really good blend.
So by the time, I think it could be the last question, okay? And after you can talk about it. Can this therapy used between son and father with problem?
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
have done sessions with adult parents and children, or even young children. Yesterday, I did a session here where I had parents who were getting a divorce and 3 boys. So we did some horse work, we did some bioenergetic kinds of grounding and connecting, and we did some dialogue between them. So yes, it can be used with everybody. And the facilitator training that I teach, we can bring this into organizations and teach people how to talk to one another in a way that they can really listen and be heard. So I teach that facilitator training. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I leave for Costa Rica to finish this year's training.
Yeah. So I think we are in the end of the webinar, and I want to say that it was a wonderful webinar. I thank you very much for the IIBA, for myself, and I would like to give you the word, to you talk to finalize the webinar.
Thank you
What
so
do you like to talk?
Thank you. I really appreciate your facilitation, Miriam, and
No,
just
thank you.
having your smiling face and your intrigue present helped me to feel more comfortable. I remember the first time I met you, I was evaluating you to be a faculty, and now here you are supporting me in this. I love this kind of synchronicity in relationships.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think one of the most important parts of our Bioenergetic Institute are the relationships that we form with one another within our training groups, within our society, within our nation, and then internationally. I think we can do a lot of healing work in the world by working on the relationships we have with one another. And I invite all of you to learn this Imago process or some process of being able to share your skills with the world. And maybe we can tip things in a positive direction because the world really, really needs it. And I feel blessed to be here with you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being with me and sharing this and supporting me in my work.
Okay. Thank you very much, Garet.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
And I would like to say to everybody that the IIBA is thinking and is preparing another series of webinars. So taking attention, no? Because in a time, we will give some notes about it, okay? About new series of webinar, okay?
And
But
also remember to, if you want that paper with all the interventions in it, to write to me or to ask the organizers.
okay, okay. You can say that. Anything more you
That's
can
it.
say? No?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Marco, now it's with you. We finish.
Yes, thanks to everybody.
Yeah, thank you everybody who were in our audience. No, thank you for each one. No, it's very important that each one stay with us in that series of webinar and talk about it with someone, with her friends. Yeah, to come and participate. So, Marco. What I do now?
Nothing.
Nothing? Não, então bye bye.